Good evening and welcome everyone here to GTRC WTCC round 3. Oh, there's Pine joining for the comms, that's great. Will, as you're on the stream, is there place for Pine to do the comms with me, or is the lobby 15 or 14 drivers? Quickly opening a party with Tom. Yes. Okay, perfect. So yeah, like last week, Tom's gonna join us for the commentary. We expecting a grid of 14 cars. Grid is pretty much filled. Some people with the debuts, as Jake Witchell, very quick guy in the Lexus. First appearance of the season. Good evening, Tom.
Evening. Sorry, I was a bit late today.
No problem. As we see, Jake Witchell, private Lexus. Tyler Davison in the Swift. Again, showed brilliant results last week. Stein van Hart with his first race of this season in the privateer RZZ. So top 3 currently all privateers. And then privateer number 4, Tom Lipskamp. So the privateers are kind of dominating here the warm-up session. Well, now Kubinski jumped on P3. Interesting, switched the car, or had to switch the car, is now in the Scirocco. Phantom S also with another new driver. Kubinski has to drive for them as he started to be in charge for Phantom S, and team owners have to drive in their own team. So he had to make space in his Team Spirit cockpit and go for the Phantom S car. And that made the championship leader Joe Witt jumping in the Team Spirit car. Then we have Devil in the Hilux BMW. Podium last week. Langstadler in the first Team Spirit RZZ, a bit wide here out of turn 1.
Just a bit.
Then we have, I think, finally 2 FR cars from FR Racing.
Yeah, we got the new guy, obviously.
Winkel here, yes.
Winkel.
Pretty German name.
Sounds
and
German.
Yes, Clark in the second TT. Then another new guy, the 4th driver this season for Phantom S, so they reached the maximum of drivers. It is a guy from Belgium, first guy out of Belgium I see in this league, but can be wrong. Thielen should be his name. I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong. Yeah, but we were at Lipskamp, then Ruben Serreo in the second Hilux BMW. So the teams should be pretty much...
I think we've got everyone here now.
Yes, I think
full
so.
Grid.
We have Lucas. Is there 5 privateers?
There's 4 privateers today, I think.
I think we have Lucas, we have Jake, we have Tyler. That would make it 3.
Oh, we do have
then
5.
We have Stein and Tom Lipskamp. That would make it 5.
Are we missing a team? I thought we were only supposed to have 4.
So we're missing a second Team Spirit car. I think.
No, they're both here. Because, yeah, Joe's in the pits.
Ah, okay, yeah.
I'm
Was a bit
guessing
confused.
Freddy is Winkle. You're going to have to inform us
Yeah,
how to say his
probably.
name. There's a
But-
couple fans in the chat.
Then I have to double check because this little twist would make us impossible to do double comms. Because I think Paige is signed in for the race.
Yeah, there's no space for Sophie.
Yeah, then
I think if you look at who's checked in.
yeah, I think Paige checked in, but he's not in the lobby so far. We checked the privateers. I think this is the easiest thing because I know that there were only 4 check-ins. So yeah, Jake didn't check. Oh, Jake did a late check. Jake was on the wait list.
How's this work then?
Probably, I would say, in case that we want as much cars as possible, I would say thank you to you, but
It's been a fun session, guys.
on the other hand, we have to figure out. Okay, Sophie would be the second guy on the waiting list. Okay, then yeah. It's
Behind.
unfortunate. Was fun, and Paige is still missing, but we have so far no message from Paige. But at least we need at least one spot in the drivers. So yeah, hopefully next week. But of course we are happy to have a full grid.
I think the late check-ins were a bit of a screw up here. I know for a fact Jake was a late check-in, but I can't even see Sophie's check-in.
Sophie has no check-in so far. Text him on Discord.
Everyone else. Oh yeah, Lucas Mays has also checked in.
Yeah. So yeah, then make some room for Sophie.
That the plan?
Yeah, I think so. It's the best we can do. I mean, Sophie, if Paige is showing up, Sophie has to leave anyways because I think Sophie isn't even in the check-in.
Okay. Well, best of luck. Best of luck with commentary.
Thank you.
Hopefully this is a good race, good track. And just to let you know on lap times, that one by which was very quick.
I'm pretty sure it is.
No doubt. Right. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Okay, I will mute myself. Sorry for this bit of silence. We currently have to sort out a 2 full grid. So it currently seems that Jake Mitchell, who's currently the fastest guy on track, has to make room at least for race 1. So that Paige and Sophie could join. Jake was on the top spot of the waiting list. It's a bit unfortunate for him as he is pretty quick around this track, obviously. Let me quickly check. 15 spots are taken, so sorry for that little delay. Currently trying to bring everything together. Okay, Jake left the room, and now it's about the drivers to join. So let's see what the current times are. Now Davison is the quickest on track. After Mitchell left it, picked up a penalty, so will not improve. We are a few seconds away from the qualifying, just waiting for the 2 guys to join. Only Sophie and Paige. Technically, there is no room for Tom to join the commentary. Okay, there is Dougie, so we're now just waiting for Sophie, and then we are about ready to go for the qualifying. Okay, then Joe can start the quali. Sorry for the little delay. It's a bit unfortunate. That's why we have check-ins. We know that not every driver is filling out it properly, but most of them at least give a notification. Okay, 14 drivers signed in. And we are ready to qualify. Favorites, of course, the guys like Tyler Davison, like, of course, Joe Witt, who's leading the championship. But I think this is also a track where the BMW can actually work. So let's see who's the first guy on track. It is Joe Witt. Instant picked up a 3-second penalty. Followed by Will Sutters. Yeah, pit. So let's stay with Will Sutters, who's being the first one to go on the hot lap. Very important corner here. It is flat. It's really important to take all the momentum. And then turn one can bring a lot of action in the first race with the standing start. Really important to carry as much speed as possible. First chicane can cost you a lot of time. Same with the S's. Really tight line here from Will Sutters. Turn 5. Have to be careful with the track limits. Easy to pick up a penalty, and we see it. Will Sutters was not patient enough. Picked up the penalty. So we're with Tyler Davison and a Swift. A track that actually should fit the car. Tom Lipscomb with the slipstream. Yeah, Will Sutters 124.8 with the penalty. 8/10 quicker here. Tyler Davison, but Tom Lipscomb in the slipstream with a 23.8 and Kubinski with a 23.7, immediately beaten by Devil with a 23.5. And we have Cireo 24 flat. Jumped by Langstadler 24 flat. So really close gaps here. Stein van Hart on a season debut on P7 at the moment, followed by complete Dutch trio. Lucas Mays and Winkel picked up a penalty, so will not improve on this lap. Clark only P7 at the moment. It seems that the TT is maybe not made for this track. So I'm not on a better pace last week. But let's see what can Sutters make on his first real flying lap. Without a penalty. Clock is ticking. Clock is stopping at a 24.1. So currently on P7. Davison improved 23.3. Now on the provisional pole. No improvement here for Devil. Sereo is now also in the 23s. Jumped Langstadler. Again, really close gaps here. And also, what I pretty enjoy to see is that Dougie seems to be a bit closer to the pace here. Had his problems at the beginning of the season and is improving by 6/10 here. So he and the Hyundai seems to work. Currently having Sereo in his slipstream. Five and a half minutes done of this 15-minute qualifying. So almost 8/10 of an improvement here from Page. Sereo is a bit stuck here in the chicane. And now he's leaving room, going to the pits. Brilliant lap time, 7/10 of an improvement here from Page. Winkel, is he improving? No improvement for him. And we have a new provisional leader. We have Tom Lipskamp with an insane time of a 1:23.27. It's a big surprise. I mean, he showed some amazing pace during the last weeks. But beating Tyler Davison and also Devil, Clark and Joe Witt here for the moment is absolutely impressive by the Scirocco. I haven't seen the lap. We saw it before that he had a look for a good slipstream. Let's see, it's less than a 10th here, but currently Tyler Davison doesn't look like he's improving. There is Sophie. No improvement here from Davison. Is Devil on an improvement? Yes it is, but just not enough to jump Davison or Lipskamp. Stays on P3. Clark is getting to a better and better pace. Currently on an outlap. Championship leader Joe Witt. Seems that it's maybe not the best track for the RZZ. Looked really strong all over the season, but currently P5 and 6 for the... Oh, sorry. Just P5, P6. Kubinski isn't in the RZZ anymore. Also Langstadler currently P9 in the RZZ. Will Sutters now on his outlap. Still, it's a really short lap here. So you get a lot of attempts to do the perfect lap around this track. Sereo sitting on a half-second penalty. Couldn't improve after his 23.9. Stein van Hart improving. Yes, he is. Jumping Sereo is now on P8. Also an improvement for Clark again. Jump Devil, Splitted Devil and Davison is now on P3. But still, the big surprise is Tom Lipscomb in the lead. Must have had an absolute insane lap in the Scirocco. No improvement. Tyler Davison is on his way to the line. Also just about not an improvement for him. Clark is on a cool down lap. Devil on a warm-up lap. Lucas Mays improving. P11 for him in the second Hyundai. Again, it's just about a second between P 1.3 between P1 and P13. This is insane close gaps, and when I'm saying this, Ruben Sereo improved 23.8 for him. Jumped Van Hart on P8 now. Half a second between P1 and P8. Winkle improved, jumped Thielen. And 1 second penalty for Davison, so no improvement for him. Clark on an out lap. Let's see what Devil sector time tells us. 1/10 purple. Is this the new pole lap? Devil on his way to the line. Page in front of him is far enough ahead, can give him a little slip here. Making his way to the line, and what a time. 1:23 flat. Quarter of a second quicker than Tom Lipscomb. This can be a huge advantage for the BMW. Standing start in the first race. Having the pole, having the better start than the 3 cars behind him. Half-second penalty for Kubinski. Let's see if Sereo is improving. A bit wide here at the exit, a bit in the gravel. Yes, he is. I think it was Lucas Mays who made space to let Sereo pass. Definitely was one of the RZZs. Again, a bit wide here on the exit, but not meant that it has to be slow. So can he catch Kubinski? No, he can't. No improvement. 2,000 slower than his PB. Joe Witt in his new car. since he knows the Scirocco pretty well, he was super quick in it. But yeah, Team Spirit was forced to promote one of the Phantom S drivers, and Joe improved, but not enough to jump Sutters. Stays on P6, just increases the gap to Kubinski. It's still a bit of a surprise. Kubinski is a pretty quick guy, and he's showing that. Just about enough to jump Joe, so can he bring this improvement to the finish line? Half a minute till the session ends. There is an improvement, but it's so tight. No position gained here from Kubinski. Stays on P7. But he has one more attempt. Tires are pretty worn. Let's see what the first sector time tells us. So now the guy's getting over the line. We see no improvement here on the bottom left so far. Kubinski, just about not enough. Sereo ended his qualifying. I think Stein van Hart came across the finish line just about early enough, about 1 or 2 seconds before the end of the session. Langstadler with an improvement, but just a tiny one. Clark, Davison, Lipskamp, Devil, Page, Thielen. They are all done with their laps, so it's only Van Hart. Still on a hot lap, but oh, it's 3.5 tenths down. So the biggest surprise definitely is Tom Lipskamp. I think whoever bet some money on him qualifying P2. So, let's give Joe the notification. So let's have a look at the qualifying. Devil on pole with a 23 flat. Tom Lipskamp with an impressive 23.3. Out-qualified Tyler Davison, who's on P3 with the Swift. Clark in the TT. No clue why Page left the lobby. But I guess he will join back. There he's back, perfect. So yeah, we have some teammates really split it up. We have Devil on pole, we have Ruben, who's still not getting really comfortable with the BMW. On P8 or 9 if I remember right. Also both TTs are really split it up. Joe Witt much better qualifying than his teammate Langstadler. So it will be really interesting. I mean, before Devil had set this insane 23 flat. The gaps at the front were super, super close. We had the top 10 in the same second, what is absolutely amazing, even if it's a short track. We also had Page, who was a lot closer to the rest of the guys than he was before, so there's definitely big, big step forward. So yeah, Sophie will start from the back. Had a brilliant race last week. Earned the podium after a penalty. For Tom Lipskamp. Was a minor push to pass. And I think we are about ready to race. Everyone's giving the go. Brilliant to see 15 cars in the grid. It will be an interesting start. I'm pretty sure if Devil is not bottling it, he should just zoom away, as he is the only rear-wheel drive in the front rows. Then Will Sutters will do his best to attack P3, 4 and maybe P2. And let's hope everyone gets through the first corner really good. It is a pretty wide corner, but it's really hard to go side by side through it. Oh, there's a jump start in the back. One of the Scirocco's. The Devil is just zooming away and Sutters is immediately attacking. Already jumped. Davison is now looking for the inside line against Tom Lipskamp. Lipskamp versus Sutters here in turn 1. And Devil went wide. Devil went wide. A lot of bunny hopping cars about over the barriers. From P1 to P15 in turn 1. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna see Devil quite early in the pits. It smells like an undercut. Sereo with a good start, but already picked a penalty with half a second. So not a good start for the Helix guys. Lipskamp is defending against Kubinski. Scirocco versus Scirocco, and Clark missed the corner and is now losing 2 positions against Lipskamp and Kubinski. Also Sereo is going for an attack, but the BMW should not have enough beans to attack the Audi on the straight line. Also has to burn the penalty. Now burning it, Joe Witt is earning this position, and now Sereo is getting eaten by the rest of the pack. In front we have the fight between Sutters and Davison for P1. Yes, and Devil is going for the pit, but this really looks like a 3-second penalty. 2.5 second gap already between Sutters and Davison and the rest of the grid. Then Lipskamp is on P3, followed by Clark, Joe Witt P5, P6 for Kubinski. This is a really, really close fight here overall. Clark a bit wide over the curb. Forces Joe with a bit to reduce the speed, and Kubinski is taking advantage. Again, looking for the inside line against Clark here in the next corner. This one was maybe a bit too tight, lost a bit of momentum here in the corner. Kubinski now side by side, trying to squeeze between the TT and the RZZ. Who has the most power here? Looks like Kubinski can go for the inside line. But Clark is late on the brakes and can defend against him. But Sutters and Davison are also involved into a lot of fighting here. So they're not really gaining. Lipskamp, meanwhile, made a 1.3 second gap to the rest of the guys in the chase. They had a big fight here. Five-car fight. If Mace and Sereo are joining, can be a 7-car fight here. Thielen currently on P11. Page P12, P13 for Winkle. And Sophie. No pit stop made. Big gap here. Devil after the pit stop on P15. And Sutters is getting more and more pressure from Davison. And you see it, the gap is shrinking. Lipskamp is already back in range, gained more than a second in the previous lap. Kubinski still in his tow. Fastest lap, Kubinski. Then it's Van Hart and Langstadler. Sereo meanwhile made the overtake against Lucas Mace. It's now on P9. Still 2-second gap to the chasing pack. Sophie's really struggling. Devil gained already 4 seconds just in this lap. Page also with an early pit stop. Fresh tires going for the undercut. A lot of drivers are aiming for clean air. And yeah, Will Sutters has all hands to do with defending. And this was a little bit ambitious here from Davison. Super late on the brakes, and Lipskamp is now in striking range. Tough battle here, and that's the thing where the back markers and the undercutters might have a big benefit from. Meanwhile, Joe Witt with the fastest lap. Top 4 in between 1 second. This is what we want to see. Scirocco against Scirocco. Kubinski versus Lipskamp. Side by side action. Joe Witt aiming for a good exit. Maybe trying to overtake both of the Sciroccos. The RZZ is insane quick on the straight line. Sutters maybe picked up a penalty. Davison is now must have been a half-second penalty. Kubinski now going for the pit stop. Everyone else is going one lap longer. Is Davison now able to extend the gap as he's not in a fight with Will Sutters, or is Sutters just slightly quicker? So Swift will definitely be able to do another lap. I think the rest of the grid we might see in the pits now. So Sutters is getting closer, but I think Davison will definitely stay out for another lap. This has to be a full send lap. Impossible to beat the Swift on the brakes. Not a serious attempt from Sutters here. Yes, Sutters is going for the pits. Clark and Joe Witt staying out for another lap. So a lot of different strategies we see here. Lipscomb in the pits. Serreo stays out on track. Kubinski stayed out on the old rubbers, trying to go for the undercut. Sophie in trouble. And Kubinski jumped Sutters. And also Devil made a huge step up, currently 10th, but he's in front of Tom Lipscomb. So we have a lot of guys who stayed on the old rubber. So we're gonna see how it is if the grid is sorted after it. Davison is going for a 7th lap. For an 8th lap even. Joe Witt now in the pits. Fresh tires for him. Serreo and Clark also in the pits. Also interesting here. Thiesen also going for another lap. So Kubinski, Sutters. At least Kubinski jumped them. So the undercut for Kubinski worked so far. He's currently on P3. Think he gonna jump Thiesen in the pits. Yeah, just 16 seconds to gap. Oh, Sutters sitting on a penalty here. Will lose in the rear of Joe and cost him at least a position against Serreo, I think. Covering the inside line. BMW is good on the brakes. A little contact here between Clark and Serreo. Oh, and there's contact between Lipscomb and Sutters. And then there's contact again. Really tough one. Both cars are back on track. Lipscomb took the emergency exit, is dropping really far back and is getting resetted. That's really unfortunate for him. He had such an insane race. But now he's down to P13. Tyler Davison stayed on the old rubber. The track is not that tough on the tires. So he has 7 seconds gap. Looks pretty comfortable. Let's have a look on his... Oh, it's his outlap. Hard to judge how quick it is. Kubinski P2. Brilliant race for him so far. Wasn't the best qualifying for him. But he's much rougher on the tires. So this could be really difficult for him to stay on it till the end. Clark P4. Getting pressure from Sereo. Then Sereo and Clark have a bit room to breathe after the incident between Sutters and Lipscomb. P10 for Winkle for the moment. So also the new guys to the league doing pretty well. Big catch here from Lucas. Big catch from Lucas, but cost him a lot of time. 1 second penalty here for Thiesen. Lipscomb P13, 7.5 seconds to P12. This will be really difficult for him. The reset was not good for his race. But also we saw him turn 1 in the emergency exit. The incident between Sutters and him. You might see it on the stewards table. Page doing pretty well so far. Sophie still struggling, but slightly his lap times are improving. Pretty sure that Davison is going to bring this one home. Still quicker than Kubinski, and Kubinski has to battle now against his old car. So the championship leader again with a really good result. Sereo meanwhile jumped Clark, but Clark has fresher tires. So also can become an interesting battle to the end. I think podium is not in range for Sereo. Will there now be an attack from Witt against Kubinski? Witt is having a look at the inside. And the better tires allows him to brake a bit later. Perfect execution, and Kubinski picked up a 1 second penalty. So that should secure Joe the P2 for now. Clark is getting more and more pressure on Sereo's car here. And also Sutters has fresh rubber, but Sutters again picked up a 1 second penalty. Really unfortunate for him and his title chances. But the pressure from Devil at the moment isn't too big. And the penalty burn zone here is a bit more forgiving than on other tracks. Van Hart, P8, Langstadler on P9. The both Dutch guys here, Mace and Winkle, sitting on a 1 second penalty. we're gonna see a fight here in the back between Paige and Sophie. Good exit here from Sophie. Lexus has a good top speed, so should be able to complete this move. And every point counts. Was a poor exit out of the chicane. These guys here fighting for every single point. Davison, meanwhile, 8 seconds clear on his way to the final lap. Joe with 4.5 seconds clear to Kubinski, and Kubinski is under pressure from Sereo, and Sereo might be on his way to the first podium of the season. Both cars are on really worn rubber. Attack here from Sereo against Kubinski. But not in this corner. And what happened to Clark? Clark lost a lot of momentum here and also a position against Sutters. So the fight for the podium is still hot here. Also Devil is back in range of Clark's rear. So this will be absolute intense final lap. Sophie meanwhile secured P14 for the moment. P1 and 2 are pretty much sorted. But Kubinski's front left tire is almost dead. Will Sutters, the guy with the freshest tires here in the front of the grid. Sereo a bit wide, and Sutters has the better material. And there is Devil wide again. Was there contact? Yes, there was contact between him and Clark. Clark is waiting, giving the position back. So the poles that are really struggling. Sophie meanwhile dropped again. Still fuel in the car. 10 seconds behind. Tyler Davison, deserved winner here of race 1. Joe Witt, P2, will secure him the championship lead. And then it's a side-by-side race to the finish line between Ruben Sereo and Will Sutters. And Ruben Sereo is picking up his first podium of the season. Will Sutters P4, Dominik Kubinski on P5. So his tire strategy didn't work till the end. Stein van Hart on P6. Langstadler P7, P8 for Devil. Clark on P9. Lucas finishing P10. P11 for Winkle. So both with their debuts. Thielen on P12. Lipskamp with P13, but we definitely should have an eye on him in the second one, because he's starting from really much in front. Page P14, P15 for Sophie. So let me quickly screenshot the results. So, as expected, Devil can't make the second race, so let's give Jake the notification that he can race if he wants. Quickly save the replay. Was a bit unfortunate that Tyler's tire undercut worked that well, so that we didn't had big fight for the win here. But still, the battle between Sutters, Kubinski and Cereo in the final lap was absolutely insane. There were so many cars involved on the final kilometers for the final spot on the podium. So we are absolutely looking forward to an insane second race. With the reverse grid and the rolling start, we get a lot more attention here. And I see the first ticket popping up in the stewards channel. So yeah, one of the favorites definitely is Tom Lipscomb for the second race. He will start on and the vacant spot is getting filled with Jake Witchell. What brings another sort of spice into this race. He was insane quick in the pre-lobby. Had the quickest time. We'll start at the back. The grid looks sorted. Everyone seems to be ready. Eight seconds till the start of the second race. We're really looking forward to it. I think this one was maybe that what we want to see here. Close fights, a little contact here. So we might see a few tickets popping up, but I think nothing dirty. There was just, I think, the situation between Lipscomb and Sutters in the final corner, and from my perspective it looked that Lipscomb could have left a bit more space and Sutters could have had a cleaner rejoin, but that's really difficult to say without any inputs. So race has started. Dougie with a good start here. Let's see if this time the pole setter can make turn 1. Lipscomb immediately in attack mode, but it seems that everyone stayed on track. No big position changes. There is the black new Lexus. It was Dougie who lost the car. It's really unfortunate for him. Immediately lost his good starting position. Everything seems to be very, very clean at the start. Lucas Mays picked up a half-second penalty. That's really unfortunate in such an early stage of the race. Kubinski is looking for attack, but Mays is cutting a bit off. It's a corner where Kubinski usually attempts it. Now burning the penalty to position 3, position loss. Sutters now on P8. There's Langstadler maybe going for a move against Mays. And Joe Witt and also Jake Witchell taking advantage. Both are now ahead of Langstadler. Sereo dropped a bit back, currently in an infight with Jake Witchell. Not with Jake Witchell, with Tyler Davison. And it seems that Dougie is off again. Yes, he is. Spun around. Sophie still in the lead, ahead of Tom. And then also Winkle with a really good pace, and Clark is already on P4. So the FR cars pretty far ahead at the moment. Sutters fighting with Thielen. Thielen has the inside line, but Sutters had the better straight line speed. So also for him, good track position for now. No clue what happened to Kubinski, but he dropped down to P13. Not sitting on a penalty. Lipscomb looking for a way past Sophie. He feels the pressure from the TTs behind. And as we see, the fastest laps are dropping. Trying her out the outside here through turn 1 is not possible. Kept the car on track. Maybe with a good exit out of turn 5. Aiming for the inside line. And then beating Sophie on the braking zone. It's really hard for the Scirocco to attack on the straight line. On the straight line it's more about defending against the TT. Oh, little tap here against Sophie. Nothing too bad. Just looked like a little, come on guy, go faster. Maybe now out of the slipstream. Sophie covering the inside line. Very, very much on the inside line. Late on the brakes in the Lexus. Using the entire track. That's a bit much movement here in my eyes from Sophie on the straight. And it looks like Clark sanded Lipscomb wide again. He tried it again, and that's contact between Clark and Sophie. Sophie in the barrier. Clark wide. Any other cars affected? So yeah, that's definitely one we're gonna see in the stewards. Group 1 is like P1 to P8, then there's a little gap to Lucas Mays. And these guys might look for an undercut now, because they seem a bit stuck behind Lucas. Oh, and now we see what the problem for Dougie was. For some reason he put intermediates on the car. Let's hope he's now going for the softs. Yes, now he's on soft tires. Sutter still in the lead, under pressure from Joe Witt. Witchell on P3. A lot of advertising stuff is on the track, and there's another TT wide, and this is so unfortunate for the FR team. It is Winkle who's wide, and it looked a bit unnatural. He went pretty much straight, so maybe contact between him and Lipskamp. Lipskamp must have been the car that was behind him. Davison setting now. Thielen under pressure, going for the move. Swift is just unbeatable on the brakes. And it's the RZZ of Joe Witt, the championship leader, in the sandwich. Now on the way lapping Page. Witt was forced here very, very wide. And Witchell is going for the attack against Sutters. And this is how you do the final corner side by side. Witchell now in the lead. Also sitting on the fast lap. So was there anyone in the pit so far? Except Page. No, only Page in the pit, so no one's trying the undercut. Page wide again. Let's see, he should make the lapping from the other guys as easy as possible. Both searching for the slipstream quite long, making the move. And Sutter's the first one to pit, getting out of this fight. Also really low on fuel, but the first one to go in the pits. Followed by Lipskamp, Sereo, Kubinski, Van Hart. Witt under pressure from Davison, race 1 winner. And yes, hard to defend that Swift on the brakes. But maybe he can count on the straight. Let's see, RZZ might have enough power. It's pretty close. Davison covering the inside line. Joe seems to be able to complete the move even before the breaking point. Yes, he did. And so also leaving Davison no opportunity to attack again on the brakes. Clean move here from Joe. Now going for the pit lane. Davison, of course, going for another lap. Also Witchell in the pits. Let's see, fresh rubber for the Lexus. Everyone going for the fresh rubber here. For Sereo it worked pretty well with the older tires. Oh, 3-second penalty here for Thielen. It's very, very painful. It was on a pretty good pace, picked up another half a second. There's a big, big chasing pack. Langstadler with a bit of a gap on P10, but still, you lose more than 3.5 seconds on a 3.5 second penalty. He's just about 4 seconds ahead. Thielen now has to burn the penalty. Free overtake here for Sereo. It's really dangerous that he stayed on the racing line. Stays in P9. Langstadler is not getting close enough. And now Davison in the pits is now on the exit. Can he stay in front of Sutters? They're coming out of the pits side by side. Both on old rubber, but the Swift is insane on the tires, and also Davison driving style fits perfect to it, so it will be really, really difficult for Sutters to attack on this old rubber. With the fresh tires, now has a bit of a gap, of course. Not changing tires saves about 5 seconds. Kubinski P4, P5 for Sereo. And it seems that Kubinski was happy with the strategy, as he's again on the same rubber, which will drop down to P6. Except Joe, he was the only guy to pit for tires from the front running guys. Sophie P13, Stein Van Hart P12, Lucas Mace P11 in the Hyundai. Langstadler definitely had better weeks. Clark here on P8, sitting on a half-second penalty, will bring Thielen in striking range. Witchell is gaining a lot on Sereo. Sereo still stuck behind Kubinski. This was an insane risky overtake attempt. Cost him half a second and almost a car. I'm pretty sure Whittle on this pace on the fresh tires will sniff them up pretty quick. Joe is currently slower than Sutters and Davison in the front. So it looks like these two guys are the ones who are making the decision between P1 and P2 between themselves. But Davison on the much better material. Personal best here for Sutters. But now we're in Swiftland. This is where the Suzuki is definitely quicker than the Lexus RCF. Joe 24-0 on the last lap, so is now getting closer. But is there enough time? It really depends on how good Will Sutters will manage his tires till the end. There's about 2 laps and a bit to go. Jake Whittle, meanwhile, passed Kubinski and Sereo, who are still racing bumper to bumper. Here the fight between Thielen and Lipscomb. Scirocco against Scirocco. Lipscomb is not leaving that many space on the track. It looked like he squeezed him a bit on the grass. That brings Thielen under pressure here from Langstadler. Half a second penalty for Thielen. Langstadler made a move, but the immediate switchback here from Thielen. Brilliant racing from these two guys here. This is high precision motorsport, what these two guys are doing here in turn 1. Davison is now 1.5 seconds clear. So this is definitely enough to beat Sutters here, and Sutters is getting more and more in trouble from Joe Witt. Jake Whittle should not be able to get back in podium range. I did not know what happened before his pit stop. Sereo, meanwhile, passed Kubinski, is now on P5. But Kubinski has the slipstream, has the inside line. But Sereo stays in front, and Clark is taking the advantage and is moving up to P6. And Clark also has fresh tires. So in the final lap, Sereo might get a lot of pressure here. But we look at the battle here between Sutters and Joe Witt. Joe Witt is getting closer and closer, and Sutters is not able to stay close to Tyler Davison. So Tyler Davison will win both races here. And Joe Witt is in slipstream range. One more chicane. But he's not gaining enough. So he needs a picture perfect exit out of the chicane. And looking for a move in the final corner. Bit like Serrao did it. He's on his rear. But the acceleration of the Lexus is good enough, and Sutters brings it home on P2, P3 for Joe Witt, Witchell P4, Clark for FR Racing, P5, Kubinski P6, P7 for Lipscomb, and something happened to Serrao, P8 for Langstadler, Thielen, Serrao finishing P11. So will be pretty interesting what happened to him. Sophie P13, P14 for Winkle, P15 for Page. So double victory here. For the Swift. And let's see what we are next week racing on. Oh, we're gonna be at Monza. So absolute top speed track. Can pretty much feel the pain from the BMW guys. But yeah, it is Monza, it is 10 laps, it will be an absolute high-speed battle. And so I wish you a good night, and we'll see you there next week, same spot, same time.